Hello guys and gals, and welcome. So today I want to go over something simple because I did get quite a few comments about this, and basically people don't quite understand how Crushing Blow works, and this might seem something very simple to a lot of us older and more experienced players, but for those players who are just coming in, they may not know exactly what Crushing Blow does and exactly what the circumstances are for its application and what weapons it works on and so forth and so on. So that's what we're going to go over today. So the first thing we're going to do before we go out to the field and do some practical applications is we're going to look at what the percentages are and how the skill works. So if you have an item which has Crushing Blow on it, doesn't matter what it is a percent chance for Crushing Blow to take effect. So for instance, Gore Riders has a 15% chance of Crushing Blow, and 15% chance is not a huge amount, but it still will proc a fairly decent amount of time. And what is procking? Well, it doesn't tell you that in the game. Nothing actually goes through the process of letting you know what Crushing Blow is and what Crushing Blow does. So let's take a look at the equations here, and we'll find out for ourselves. So as you can see on the screen here, I have a list of all the effects of Crushing Blow on various items. So on melee weapons, which is what's at the top, we have Crushing Blow is 25% of a monster's current HP. And what that means is that if I attack a monster, it doesn't matter if it's even with a 0 damage weapon. If I attack a monster and I hit him, I will have, for instance, with the Gore Riders, a 15% chance to proc a 25% basically murder hit off of that monster's HP. And there is no limit to the amount of HP that Crushing Blow can remove, because there is no limit to the amount of HP that a monster can have. So for instance, if you come across a monster that has 1 million HP and you hit him with Crushing Blow and it procs, you will get 250,000 HP removed from his hit points. However, once his hit points are reduced by 250,000 off of his 1 million, he now only has 750,000 left. Which means that if you are to proc another Crushing Blow attack, it will only do 187,500. And then the next one will only be 140,625. And the next one will be only 20. It's basically a reduction in the amount, and it is essentially the diminishing returns. And this is the big thing about Crushing Blow, is that when a monster is at full HP, it has a massive effect on the amount of HP that the monster has. But when the monster gets to a low HP, it has next to no effect. For instance, if a monster only had 100 HP and you hit him with a Crushing Blow, it would only do 25 damage. So you can see how Crushing Blow would be very useful to reduce the HP of a monster, especially a boss. But here's the thing. On bosses and elites and champions, basically anything that's not a normal monster, you are only going to get 12.5% Crushing Blow. So 12.5% Crushing Blow is a lot less, which means that in this case, if we were attacking, say, Diablo or Uber Diablo or Uber Mephisto, and they had 1 million health, and we hit them with a Crushing Blow, it would only be 12.5%, which is, of course, 125,000. A lot less than 250,000. However, it still works the same way and will still continue to reduce the HP of the monster until it gets all the way down to 1. However, Crushing Blow will never kill a target, so keep that in mind. You have to have something else to actually finish the target off. And on PvP characters with melee weapons, it is 10%. Now we move on to ranged weapons, and on ranged weapons we have 12.5%. For regular monsters, which is the same amount for bosses on melee weapons. So as you can see, it's literally cut in half. We also have 6.5% on bosses, which is a pretty hefty cut. But I mean, keep in mind that if you proc that on say a monster with 1 million health, that's still 65,000 HP that's gone off the monster like that. On players with ranged weapons, it is 5%. Now, this damage actually applies in tandem with your regular damage. So let's say, for instance, I am a Zeal Paladin, and every strike of my Zeal, I will do 5,000 damage. And I hit a boss, and the boss has 1 million health. It is going to apply my 12.5%, which is the 125,000, and it's also going to add my 5,000 on top of it, so it's going to be 130,000. And this is why Crushing Blow is so very effective in so very many ways, just simply because it is a massive reduction in the amount of HP down to a killable level. So if you have a monster that is just way out of your league as far as HP is concerned, it doesn't matter, because if you have enough Crushing Blow, you can bring his HP down to a certain percentage and allow your monster, your character, to be able to kill him. Now, how much Crushing Blow can you have? The answer is you can have 100% chance to Crushing Blow. However, due to the formula of attack rating, because you can only ever have a 95% chance to hit a monster, so no matter what, no matter if you are literally Zeus himself with 18 angelic rings and 18 angelic amulets on, giving you literally like 2 million attack rating, and you're level 999, there is still a 5% chance that you will miss. Okay, so that 5% chance you will miss also affects Crushing Blow, because obviously if Crushing Blow can stack to 100%, but you still have 5% miss, that means you only have a 95% application of Crushing Blow. However, if you get 100% chance of Crushing Blow, you will always apply Crushing Blow every single time you do hit. So that's it's interesting to look at it that way. Now I'm going to go out in here and we're going to take a look at a couple monsters. And what I want to do is I have a regular phase blade that I have equipped with a Jaw Burr 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 Burr. Burr runes give Crushing Blow, if you did not know, and Jaw runes give indoor targets defense. So what I want to do is I want to show you Crushing Blow on a character in Hell. This is Frigid Highlands in Hell, and we have only 143 to 256 damage, which is fairly low. We do have some proccing effects, but they are hardly going to carry us in this regard. So what I want to do is I want to try and get just one of these monsters down here, if I can. And we're going to show you Crushing Blow. So this particular monster right here, you notice how his HP just drops massively. There are these situations where the Crushing Blow procs, and when the Crushing Blow procs, you really will notice that the Crushing Blow has procced. It's instantaneous. These huge spikes of HP just simply disappear from the target, and as you get closer to the bottom of that HP, you'll notice that the Crushing Blow doesn't proc as much, and it's relying on my personal damage to finish off the target. I'm trying to think if there is a specific monster that has a really large hit point pool that I could really show you this on, and you know what I'm thinking? Actually the zombies in Act 1 actually have pretty large HP pools, and we're also going to take off the proccing effects that I've got going on, because I really want you to see just the Crushing Blow and nothing else. So that's pretty much all my proccing effects. And of course I've also got enchant gauntlets, so it's bringing up my fire damage. But 196 damage in Hell difficulty is hardly anything. So let's see if we can find a zombie. There's a nice little zombie pack. All right, so these are minions, and they're going to take the 25%. And so as you can see, when it procs, it's a rather large hit. But see, the problem with this is that that as the monster gets lower in HP, I'm not doing any actual real damage. So my physical damage, my elemental damage, my attacks are doing next to nothing, whereas the monster's HP is not going down once you hit those magic thresholds. And let me show you on the monster as well. So we have the elite monster. So the elite monster is only going to take the 12.5% as opposed to the larger 25%. And he is actually physically immune, as you can see, so he is not taking any damage from the Crushing Blow. And if I remember correctly, this is exactly how Crushing Blow works. And because of this, keep in mind that also when a monster has a very high physical resistance, this is also applying into the equation. So if you are fighting a monster that has, nearly 100% physical resistance, Crushing Blow is going to do less. And if you're fighting a monster that is physical immune, Crushing Blow is going to do next to nothing. I do not believe negative physical resistance affects Crushing Blow. I think it is only positive physical resistance that affects Crushing Blow. So, for instance, if you are in a situation where you have amplified damage up on a target and they are at like negative 100% physical resistance, it will do nothing. I also have here a Hydra Bow, which I've also prepared for this exact situation. And the Hydra Bow also has a Jaw Rune in it, and it only has a 60% chance of Crushing Blow. But this will also apply Crushing Blow when you hit targets, specifically because we have the different formula for the bow effects. So Crushing Blow is going to apply a pretty nice amount of damage per shot. And you'll see that in the beginning their HP really falls quickly, but then as the HP goes down, it doesn't really do as much, and we're relying on the actual damage of the bow, which is about 400. Because of the rather low percentage on the bow, it's not going to be as huge of a bonus as it is on the melee weapons. And just to go over that again, that is 12.5% on the bow, 6.5% for monsters, and 5% on players. Now, the interesting thing to note about the physical immunity that I was talking about earlier with Crushing Blow is that bosses are never physically immune. I don't know why in particular they decided that bosses could never be physical immune, but they are never physical immune, and because of this, you really don't have to worry about Crushing Blow working on bosses. It always works on bosses. For instance, here we have some Abyss Knights, and I'm going to shoot them with my Crushing Blow. And as you can see, it's taking off some nice healthy chunks. And as we're getting lower and lower, I'm not able to do anywhere near as much. And I'm relying on that physical damage from the... this character's not ready for anything. Especially since he's not even built around this particular setup. But as you get lower and lower, you're relying more and more on your own damage. And the beautiful thing about Crushing Blow is that it's nice to have added in to any setup if you are a melee or a ranged character. Having just a little bit of Crushing Blow can make things insanely easy for you on a variety of monsters. Let's take, for instance, a very simple calculation. All right, let's say, for instance, you were fighting a monster that had 1 million HP. All right, so 1 million HP is a lot, but you only do 5,000 damage a hit, and on top of that, you're getting mitigated. So your 5,000 damage is getting mitigated down to, say, 3,800. And so every single time you attack, you're only doing about 3,800 damage to this monster. The monster has 1 million HP, so if you divide 3,800 into 1 million, you're going to get 263 hits. That's a lot of hits. That's basically almost an entire stack of arrows. And that's pretty ridiculous, right? Well, it's gonna not only that, but you have to actually land these hits. So assuming that you're going to miss at least 5%, if not more, that's a very long time to kill a monster with has 1 million HP. And there are also situations in which the monster can regenerate some of his HP if you don't hit him enough, if you don't apply certain effects, and this can be a pain in the butt. However, if you add in Crushing Blow into this equation, even if it's just the paltry 6.5% on the actual the bows, you're talking about 1 million minus 6.5% every single time. So the first time it's 65,000, and it's going to continue like this every single time. So 65,000 plus the subtraction of your damage, so 3,800, and we're looking at 931,000 left after the first hit. And then you continue that all the way down, so minus 6.5% again. And you're also minusing your 3,800, and now you're down to 866,000. And so the number of hits that it actually takes to completely finish off a boss with a huge hit point pool diminishes extremely, because you're looking at these huge Crushing Blow hits on top of your damage, and so you're stacking these hits together until the monster's HP gets down to a relatively easy place. So imagine you apply your Crushing Blow enough, and eventually the monster's HP gets down to like 50,000. Well, at 50,000, you're not doing very much Crushing Blow damage. So 50,000 minus 6.5% is only 3,250. You're doing more than that with your regular attack. But you're also still reducing that 3,800 per attack from your regular attack, and so it starts to come to the point where your 3,800 is now doing the majority of the work. And this is why you will see people talk about crushing blow, diminishing returns, because what they're doing is they're looking at how fast the monster's HP can be brought down to a certain level, and then they're also looking at how much damage they're doing to finish the target off once the monster has been reduced to a certain level. And keep in mind that since crushing blow will never kill the target, if the crushing blow is the only damage you are relying on, it will take you forever. You will never kill a target. You will just continually hit the target over and over again until eventually the target is at 1 HP, and if you are not applying any damage, the monster will not die. And here we have, decided my chant. Here we have Eldritch the Rectifier, and Eldritch is a elite, which means that Eldritch is going to get the benefits of the halving the crushing blow damage. But as you can see, even with the halving the crushing blow damage, I'm still able to hit him fairly hard with the crushing blow. I mean, he's already at half health within a very short period of time, and the amount of damage I have is only 359. It's absolutely nothing. He is suffering from those crushing blow hits, and that is why I went ahead and I made 2 different crushing blow items. The superior phase blade with the 80% crushing blow, which by the way stacks with the Gore Riders for 15%, so you're looking at a total of 95% crushing blow, which is certainly nothing to shake a stick at. And the Hydra Bow has a 60% with the 15, which is 75% chance of crushing blow. And basically, when it comes to crushing blow, you really want to have at least some. If you're a melee or a ranged character, you want to have at least some crushing blow on your character, no matter what. You don't have to have 100%. You don't have to have 50%. But having a decent amount so it is proccing on a regular basis to help you diminish the number of times you need to hit a target to kill it will increase your kill speed almost exponentially. Because the more you are able to proc crushing blow, the faster their HP will drop to that level where your damage can then take effect and dish out what you need. Anyway, I hope I have gone over everything when it comes to crushing blow, and you know, there's one thing I think I forgot, and that's the player's command, or rather the HP bonus when you go into a game that has more players. So let's say, for instance, you are a very effective melee character, and on single player, you have always been able to kill your targets relatively quickly. But you go online for the first time and you play with other people, and you realize that you're not able to kill anything effectively in an 8-player game. And the reason why is because monsters' HP is beefed up by 450% in an 8-player game. And Crushing Blow has the very unique effect of making that pointless, because it doesn't matter how much HP the monster has with Crushing Blow. Crushing Blow is going to continually remove huge swaths of HP off of the monster continuously until they get down to a level where you can kill them. Now, granted, if they have more HP, you have to hit them a couple more times with Crushing Blow to get them down to that point, but you will notice that Crushing Blow makes that huge HP advantage of 8 players less of an advantage, and allows your character to still apply his damage and how he would like. Now, this particular ability is usually paired with another ability, which I will be going over next, and that one is called Open Wounds. Open Wounds is very interesting for its own specific purposes, and as you can see, even the Gore Riders have 10% chance of Open Wounds along with the 15% chance of Crushing Blow. So stay tuned for that particular episode. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button, and maybe even the bell so you don't miss out on that. Those will be up a little bit later. Anyway, as always, I do hope you enjoy these episodes, and thanks for watching, and keep watching.